So this morning I'm reminded that sometimes we'll wake up in the morning, or we'll talk to someone, or we'll hear a song, or smell something, or taste something, or think something, feel something, and because of old patterns, old habits of belief and thinking and feeling, we'll get pulled back into or tempted back into believing that we are this separate person, that we have this sense of lack that makes us convinced, or that we allow ourselves to be convinced that we are this separate individual with these problems, with these things, and that we're trying to get from point A to point B, and that if I can only be enlightened enough, or smart enough, or relaxed enough, or something, then everything will be okay. Which all of that comes from this belief, this sense of lack, which is a belief. And I don't mean like there's not enough money in my bank account to pay the bills. I mean that's not the same thing I'm talking about. That's fine, and we just work with that. That's not an existential problem. When that becomes an existential problem, the real problem is what I'm talking about, this deeper problem, this more core problem of who I am, essentially, is in lack, is in want, is not enough, is not complete, is not by nature full and complete. I myself, my very nature, my very source, lacks something. I myself lack something. So when we get pulled back into that, we can take a moment, even if we don't have a moment to stop our movement of our body. Maybe we're at work or driving or something. We can't stop and meditate in the way we usually think of meditation, but that doesn't need to happen that way. We can always find the part of us that is free, even if we're driving, working with our hands, speaking with people, doing art, whatever we happen to be doing or busy doing. We can take a moment amongst all that to reflect. And where do we go to remind ourselves that we are not essentially in lack, and we are not this limited entity that is separate? Where do we go? Well, one thing we can do, it's not the only thing, but one thing we could do is ask ourselves, am I aware? Now, try not to let yourself go into the mind with that, that, like, there could be an immediate reaction in the psyche of like, duh, I'm aware. But that's your answer too. But when you ask, because you are, and you're never not, but when you ask yourself genuinely, with curiosity, am I aware? That brings you immediately, without any delay, to the experience of awareness. Because when you ask yourself, am I sad, am I angry, am I happy, am I this, most of that brings you to the feeling or the emotion, but it doesn't bring you to yourself. It doesn't bring you to your true experience. Because your true experience is not I am angry. Because that comes and goes. Whatever comes and goes is not reality itself. And I'd argue that it's not who you are. But I don't want you to believe me on that. I want you to investigate that for yourself. This isn't I'm not trying to peddle a belief system, something that you have to trust or have faith, as is conventionally thought about, to find this truth. So ask yourself, Am I aware? It will immediately bring you to your genuine experience, your nature of being aware. That which is aware that does not need objects in order to be itself. And keep asking this question or returning to this question, which means keep returning to this experience that's always here. And you'll find that this experience of awareness is not simply an experience like an objective, we could say, experience of, seeing the sunset. There's beauty, but you'll notice that this experience of being aware is coming from the same place that you're coming from. The vantage point, the place where it seems as though you're looking out from, is the same place where awareness resides. Now, this place is not inside anything. It's not inside the body. I don't want you to believe this. I don't want you to believe when I say it's not this or it's that. I want you to investigate for yourself whether this is the case. Be as rigorously scientific as you possibly can be about this. Because consciousness is not something that you find anywhere outside of itself. Wherever you find consciousness, you have not gone a distance from one place to another. If you were to be really rigorous about at least reflecting on your experience of being conscious and being completely honest about what that experience is, it's not an experience of going from one place to another place with some other place in between. You'll notice that the very substance of your experience is consciousness. As you're hearing these words right now, the perceiving is consciousness. It's made up of consciousness. So I hope you can take time, whether when you're already busy or if you have some downtime, even better perhaps, maybe not, to investigate this. And if you have this feeling of lack, this sense and this belief that you get thrown back into, because we get taken out of it with beauty when it comes into our life. The grace of beauty and of love. We get taken, that sense of lack gets taken away from us. And we forget that it was ever even there. That thing, that sense of lack is added to. It's not part of our original self. It's not part of our true nature, of who we really are, whatever that is. That's something that we can create as an experience out of our freedom. But it is not original to us. It is not itself the experience of consciousness. So, whenever you have this feeling of lack, that something's wrong, ask yourself, am I aware? And be open to where that question brings you. And be open perhaps to wherever that brings you is your true self?